Welcome to Channel Today in History. In today's video we will talk about the day October 1st, 1908. Ford Model T. Ford Model T is an automobile produced by the North American factory Ford, which popularized and revolutionized the automobile industry. 20th project of the brand, it was manufactured for 19 years, between 1908 and 1927. On October 1st, 1908, Ford launched its Model T on the U.S. market, a reliable, robust, safe, simple to drive and, above all, cheap vehicle. Anyone could drive or repair it, without needing a driver or mechanic. As a relevant curiosity, the transport boxes of the automobile itself were used to manufacture its floor, made of wood and steel plates. Manufacturing gained a notable increase from 1913 on, when Henry Ford, inspired by the production processes of Colt revolvers and Singer sewing machines, introduced the assembly line and series production, revolutionizing the sector. The T was the first car designed for manufacture. It can be safely said that the automobile industry started from this moment on, because until then, handcrafted, the automobile was still viewed with suspicion by the Americans. It was just a noisy, dangerous, and expensive toy. Before these innovations, a worker was responsible for the production of all stages. After the changes, groups of workers were responsible for different stages. Henry Ford created an ingenious treadmill system, which moved the production car in front of the workers so that each one could do his job. This greatly increased productivity as one unit was ready every minute. As a result, unit cost has fallen relative to competitors, and the price drop was constant. In 1908, the year of its launch, each model cost $850. By 1927, the last year of its manufacture, the price had plummeted to $290. For these reasons, the T won the American audience and other countries. In 1914, its production began in Argentina. In 1917, the Model T truck was launched. In 1919, Ford becomes the first car manufacturer in Brazil, with the production of the car and truck of this line. In 1920, more than half of the vehicles circulating around the world were T models, and could be seen even in distant countries, such as Turkey and Ethiopia. A Model T still in use. During World War I, the Model T was widely used, including as an ambulance, and responded in the most adverse conditions. Production of the Model T continued until 1927. A few months after holding a ceremony to unveil the number 15 million car, Henry Ford concluded that it was time for the Model T to give way to a new generation of products. The record of almost 20 years of production, and more than 15 million units produced, was only surpassed in 1972 by the Beetle. As part of its centennial celebrations in 2003, Ford has restored 6 units. A 2003 version, called the Model T 100, was built entirely by hand, identical to the 1914 original. Characteristics: the Ford T model was the first vehicle produced on a production line. Structure: it was made of wood, covered with steel plates, high enough to easily traverse the precarious roads of the time. Painting: until 1914, the T was manufactured in a range of colors according to consumer preference. In 1915, to cut costs, the T was produced exclusively in black, a situation that lasted until 1926. From this time, an expression by Henry Ford quoted in his autobiography, "My life and work, the car is available in any color, as long as it is black," one of the measures adopted to reduce the costs of production and, therefore, of selling the product, because, according to him also in his autobiography, the price will be so low that no man earning a good salary will be unable to own one, and enjoy with your family hours of pleasure with God's blessing in open spaces. Henry Ford's goal was a car anyone could buy. Its price was low, a factor that increased demand. Meanwhile, in Ford's paint department there was no place to dry so many manufactured cars. The solution was to adopt the black color because it has a faster drying. In fact, even the boards of the boxes that contained assembly parts were used, being usually black in color, they matched the vehicle. Banks: the upholstered velvet-covered seats were unregulated. There are versions with simpler upholstery, fabric, leather, that suited the various bodies that the T line had: pickup trucks, vans, coupes and sedans. Direction and dashboard: first Ford car with left-hand steering wheel. It was considered light compared to other models. As in the gearbox, the reduction was done by means of a helical gear. On the dashboard was an ammeter and an odometer. Ford Model T suspension detail. Exchange: instead of a traditional box with cylindrical gears, which were noisy and wore out easily, the T adopted epicyclic gears, like those in automatic transmissions, in which its 2 forward and 1 reverse gears were selected by means of pedals. However, in order to work, the handbrake must be in the correct position. It was not yet with the pedal system, but with a lever next to the steering wheel, which formed a pair with another to adjust the ignition advance. The 2 opposite levers formed the figure of a mustache, which led to the T being called, in Brazil, Ford Bigode. When the name caught on, models made in Brazil started to show a mustache on the hood ornament. Motor. Considered very resistant, with 2,900 cubic centimeters of displacement and 17 horsepower, it gave a maximum speed of 75 kilometers per hour. Brakes. Bar-operated drum brakes on the rear wheels only, as mechanical engineers believed at the time that brakes on the front wheels would make the car overturn. Fuel tank. It was under the front passenger seat. It was necessary to remove the seat to refuel. Later, it started to be installed between the dashboard and the engine safe, supplied from outside the vehicle. Optional. Except for certain periods and for some models, headlights and horns were offered as options for an additional fee. The driver's auxiliary light, electric, with internal control, very useful in times of poor public lighting, has always been offered as an option. Did you like the video? In the description you will find the blog link with the full article. Give an incentive by subscribing to the channel, liking, commenting and sharing with your friends. Hugs. Until the next.